Hi dear guys and girls, and thank you all again for the new subscribers, or to all the new subscribers, and of course all those subscribers who have been with me since day one. And I truly appreciate your commitment to the channel, and for bringing in new subscribers, for sharing the videos, because without you as a subscriber, as a viewer, I wouldn't have a channel. So I appreciate you, each and every one of you. Thank you. I'm Petra. For all of you who have just joined us, and I promised myself to make extra videos this week, but once again, I broke that promise. Just not been having a whole lot of time to do videos, so I'm glad to be back this evening, this beautiful Sunday evening over here. Today, I want to open up the topic of anger. The anger that I went through, the rage I went through, and the anger and rage that you as a survivor have also been through. Now, anger is perceived as this very bad emotion, but it is so important. Anger can tell us so much about a situation and about ourselves. But unfortunately, it is not a subject that is brought up very often. And this is due to the fact that, I believe that when we are raised, oftentimes if we get terribly, terribly angry, we are taught to shut that down because it is a bad emotion, because we go all red in the face, because we scream or yell or break things, So we are taught, even if you have anger, don't show it, because it's not good for those around you. So, I just want to break that down, because I think it is utter rubbish. You have a right to feel angry after coming out of the relationship with a narcissist. And it is a very good emotion. First off, it is showing you that you can feel that level of emotion, where it just, in some cases, it can completely take over your body. It's like a huge warning sign for your body, to showing you that there is something that you are disagreeing on. There is a feeling, there is a very deep emotion you are going through, and you need to work through that emotion in order to feel better again. Because what oftentimes happens, and I know when I went for therapy in the beginning, I was told to not be so angry. And I thought, why not? Don't be so angry. You need to get over it. You need to move on with your life. And that is all very simple to say, but it is an emotion that we need to deal with before we can move on. Anger, there's grief, there is sadness. There are so many different emotions we go through when we are healing ourselves. And why spend more time working through the sadness and sort of suppressing the anger? Because that is what we are oftentimes told. And I thought, this is not a good therapist for me, because I do not want to suppress my anger, because suppressing the anger brings me, or gives me, a lot of distress. So suppressing is distressing. And that is something that you do not want to add to your level of stress. So, the most important thing is to feel that anger, to bring it out in a safe way. It is, I think anger can be more contained when we are expressing that. When you take it to the next level, when you talk about rage, when you feel that utter rage from the pit of your stomach, that just sends your whole body into this boiling ball mass of fire, that is rage. And that, when you have that level of rage, you can go about doing things that you might later regret, because rage, blind fury, I don't know if that's the name of a movie, but blind fury can make you do terrible things that you will absolutely regret later. So oftentimes when you do not deal with your anger in an appropriate way, in a safe way for you and for others, then it goes to a whole different level. Then you will feel the rage. And again, you know, rage is maybe good to feel, but it is not as easy to deal with rage, because it just sort of takes on a life of its own. So when a therapist or when a coach or when a psychologist says to you, just get over it, you know, then you need to know that you need to find yourself a new coach, a new therapist, a new psychologist, because there is no way you can get over your anger. You need to work through your anger. So, you know, there was a lot of therapy that I used to do. I remember for myself, when I was experiencing all of this anger, I would just shout it out, and I would normally do it in my car, you know, where I would where I would feel safe about voicing that anger. And I know, speaking to a client just recently, you know who you are. I won't mention names, but yes, this client said I would be sitting in my car and I would just be, you know, using absolute profanity and shouting and screaming. And you know, we had a good laugh about this, because it does, for an outsider looking into your car, it does look ridiculous. But I can so relate to that, because I would do the same. I'd be driving somewhere, and I would just, you know, if there was, I noticed that it worked particularly well to get that anger out when I was listening to hard rock music. So I would, you know, just put on the hard rock CDs and just use absolute profanity and you know, shout out the worst things, which I would never say to someone face to face. But I noticed that on arriving at my destination, I would feel better and I would feel calmer, and I would feel like, whew, that feels good. You know, I got that out of my system. So you're not hurting anyone that way. Just be sure, of course, that you watch the road as you are going through this anger. But so drive safely, or you could even go and park somewhere. You know, if you park somewhere and just have it out with yourself in the car. But yeah, so that worked really well for me. I just wanted to give you a few tips that have helped me and have helped other clients whom I have worked with in the past couple of months, to release that anger. You know, the first thing is to acknowledge that you have the anger. Do not sweep it under the rug. Do not pretend like it's not there. Be upfront with your anger and confront that anger, and make sure that you also have, if at all possible, that you have someone that you can speak to on a regular basis, just to tell them how angry you are and you just want to get it off your chest. They do not need to advise you on anything. They do not need to make you feel better. It's all about releasing that anger, getting it out of your system. Because the thing with anger, the thing with rage, is that we do not realize that the anger and the rage that we hold on to has an immediate effect on our physiology, on our bodies, and in our bodies especially. If you build up anger, at some point you will feel it on your heart. I know with my husband, he's starting to voice that anger more of late. But of course, being a codependent, it is very difficult to voice that anger, because you keep remembering how you were brought up as a child, that you were not allowed to voice that anger or to express the anger. So he has had a hard time expressing that. But you know, when he would hold it in, I just lost my train of thought there. Yes, when he would hold it in, he would find that he would get these, you know, heart palpitations. He would be short of breath. It is now, I personally believe that holding on to anger can have a very negative effect on your body. You can develop diseases. You can, in the case of my husband, he has developed a form of arthritis, which I truly believe is from all the abuse that he endured as a child. So when you do not know how to get that anger out, how to express it, it is kept inside and it just sort of swells in your body. And this is what causes the dis-ease, the disease that you get in your body. This is, I believe, what causes it. I'm not a doctor. Please don't hold me to it. I don't have any medical background. But I do believe that, of course, as any emotion, it is an energy. Any emotion is an energy. And when you keep such negative energy in your body, you don't let go of it, then it can result in very many grievances and sicknesses and dis-eases. So that's why I think it is so important to confront your anger. As soon as you realize that it is taking over your life, taking over the way you think, the way you interact with others, then it is time to release that. Now, as I've just said, do not do it in a way that is going to be destructive to yourself or to people around you. You need to channel that anger, get it out in a safe way. So one could be in the car. I'm just going to take you through a few things here that have worked for me and that have worked for clients. Is also boxing. And I just said to my husband the other day, we're going to buy a boxing bag and a couple of gloves, and he feels that that is a way that is going to work for him, to just, you know, punch on that boxing bag whenever he feels it coming up from his past or the abuse from his past. So that is a great way, you know, to get a punching bag, hang it securely, of course, in a room where you can have the space to move around. And when you feel it coming up, just go and take a couple of really good punches on that punching bag. A cushion. You could use a cushion as well. You know, whatever works for you, as long as you can truly, you know, put all that power into your shoulder and into your fist and get it out of your system. So that could be one way. A way that worked for me was going jogging. I love jogging anyway, you know, running. And I just did that more often, especially in the first couple of months after coming out of the abusive relationships, is that I would go every morning and just run for 20 minutes, half an hour, get that blood pumping, the sweat pouring down, and, you know, and get all my anger out of me. And I would be, I don't know, sometimes shouting, depending on where I was. If I felt it was okay to just, you know, raise my voice, I would often go into the forest and run, and there you can shout as much as you want, especially early in the morning. There's no one who you are troubling with that. So that is a great way. You know, any form of exercise is a great way to get that negative energy moving and out of your body. Another way is creative expression. So that can be anything. You know, what are your hobbies? What do you love doing? How do you love to create stuff? For me, that is, I love singing, as you saw in one of the videos. You know, I really enjoy singing. I'm a bathroom singer, so I would sing a lot. You know, just turn up the music when I had the opportunity to sing along with generally happy songs that would really, you know, lift my spirits and just lighten my heart again. So I would sing it out, be creative in that way, but also writing. I've loved writing from the time I started to write as a little girl, you know, writing short stories, writing poems. It got to a point where I started writing journals, which I still do to this very day. So whatever anger I felt coming up, if I felt like calling someone an effing whatever, you know, I would write that out, just get it out on paper. And when you read it, you feel better straight away. So that is channeling your anger in a positive way. You're putting it on paper. You're not hurting others with it. So whatever your creative expression may be, that could be making things, that could be painting, that could be drawing. It could be, you know, doing different kinds of sports. It could be anything. So just look at how you enjoy being creative and channel your anger through that. Speak on your anger. Do not keep it bottled down. If you are feeling that anger and you need to voice it, you need to verbalize it, then find someone you trust to be able to voice that to. And, you know, you can always send me an email if you want to get it off your chest. It really helps to just share your experiences, your anger experiences with someone else, someone who gets that as well. And, you know, it is very freeing to just be able to write about your anger, or your feelings of anger, your emotions of anger. Another thing that I also did when coping or dealing with anger was meditation. So after I would run it out in the morning, I would come home feeling good and tired, and yet at the same time energized, you know. So I would just sit, dab off my forehead, and I would sit and just breathe my way through the anger, sit and meditate for as long as I felt was necessary. Sometimes that would be just 5 minutes, sometimes it would be 15 minutes. One time I think I sat for a solid hour and a half just meditating, just being in contact with myself, just listening to my own breathing, letting my thoughts come into my head and then just passing through again. I wouldn't judge my thoughts. I wouldn't question my thoughts. I would just let my thoughts be my thoughts. And at some point, when you stop giving attention to those thoughts, they just sort of pass through. So meditation is a great way to calm yourself, to get back in touch with yourself, to reconnect, and also to release the anger. And what also ties into that, a couple of months ago, I made a video. I don't remember what the title was, but I did for a while speak on EFT. That is the emotional freedom technique. And I did promise to make a video on that. I still haven't. So I'm very sorry. I will make a video on EFT just to show you how to tap the energy out of your body. And that is a great way of releasing it as well. It's really to dissolve this huge ball of anger energy that you have in your body. You know, it's sort of, you can see it as a very hard ball, and by tapping and by meditating, you can loosen up that ball of anger, and it will at some point dissolve. But of course, you have to do this on a regular basis. Make it a daily ritual. Another great thing that I also did was burning memories. Now, how do you burn your memories? When you feel that anger coming up, when you feel the hatred, you know, because in some cases you can have true hatred for your abuser. And also just feeling the despair of it all, because you have been betrayed. You know, when you realize who you have been dealing with, that you have been abused all these years, emotional abuse, physical abuse, at the hands of someone whom you loved deeply and whom you thought loved you too. You are betrayed when you realize, when you find out that this is not the truth, that you have been living a lie with this person. That is when the anger just boils to the surface. I think maybe, you know, the first emotion we feel is a flooding of sadness in our hearts, in our minds, in our body. You feel depleted. You feel like you just want to sleep and you don't want to get up again. And that sadness then turns into anger at some point, and you feel it boiling in your body all the time. When that happens, another great way to deal with that is by burning the memories. How do you burn those memories? Write them out. I'm just going to keep on saying it because I love writing, and it is the most therapeutic thing that I've ever done for myself. Write out your anger. Get it all out there. It doesn't matter if it makes any sense, as long as it makes sense to you, as long as you can feel it as you are writing it. Write down all the hurts, all the grievances, every bit of anger that you have ever felt. Get it onto paper. If that means drawing, you know, some people can draw out their anger, then do that. So bring up all these memories that have angered you and hurt you. Write them out, whether that is 1 page or whether those are 40 pages, it doesn't matter. And then take those memories that you have written down. Make sure you have a safe spot, you know, in your backyard if possible. Make sure it's safe. Get a, I can't think of the English word right now. I know the Dutch word, but I don't know the English word. But just use something, you know, that we have out in the summer on sort of chilly summer nights. We just build this little fire outside. I can't think of the name. Anyway, it's a wrought iron container. And, you know, you can make your own little fire outside. Use that. That is a safe way to do it. Make a fire. Take those memories that you've written down and throw them in the fire. That is burning your memories. Because by doing that, you are physically shutting down a chapter. You can see yourself shutting down that chapter, burning that chapter. And this will allow you to release that anger and work through the next emotion that comes up. So just see, you know, which method works for you. It could be that all methods that I've just talked about, that they all work for you, or it could be that you decide to use one of those methods. But at any rate, use something. You have to address your anger, acknowledge your anger, and work yourself through that. Allow your anger to be there, because you have every right as a survivor of narcissistic abuse. You have every right to feel that anger, but you do not have the right to hold on to it if you are trying to heal. So, you know, don't put yourself through that. Don't give yourself unnecessary years of holding on to anger, because when you hold on to it, even though it is not a bad thing, I think that anger should be talked about more often. But when you hold on to that anger, you are balling your fist against the world. And when your fists are, you know, rolled up like this in a tight clench, when your fists are clenched, then there is no way that you can grab onto anything else. Release the anger, and then your hands will be open in order to receive all the blessings and all the gifts and all the good times that are still coming to you. So make anger a priority. If this is what you are going through right now, stop ignoring the anger. Work through it. And if you feel that you have worked through it, but now and then the anger pops up, I still have it sometimes, you know, and I feel that I'm pretty much healed. But sometimes a little thing will just sort of trigger it. I will get a smell, you know, I will smell something, maybe a perfume or an aftershave, or a memory will just pop into my head, and I will feel the anger coming up again. And this is when I will go for a run and, you know, say, okay, I'm angry. I'm going to do something about this. I'm going to write it out. I'm going to sing it out. I'm going to do whatever feels comfortable at that point to release it from my system. So I hope that has helped, dear guys and girls, and please share your stories of anger and how you have dealt with it. Or if you are still angry, write it out down here below the video. Send me an email. You're always welcome to send emails. And let's talk about this, and let's stop suppressing the topic of anger and suppressing the emotion of anger itself. Wishing you all a great Sunday, and looking forward to speaking to all of you very soon again. Bye for now. Take care of yourselves.